Okay, we're up to Berachos Chav Daled. We're going to begin Chav Gimel on mid base 2, 4, 6, 8 lines up. Boy mine Rav Yosef, boy mine Rav Yosef bereid Rav Nechunya Rav Yehuda. Maushi aniach Adam tefillin tachas merashas. And again, you want to watch your tefillin. In those days, they had problems with rodents taking things, ganovim. You want to watch your tefillin. Where can you? Are you permitted to put it underneath your head when you sleep? Says Rav Yosef, yes, Rav Nechunya, can you do that? Tachas ma'galosav like me boy, certainly underneath your feet, that you would not be able to do. Shenoig bar derek minig bezayin. That would be a bezayin to the tefillin. Ki kami boy on tachas mershaysa. The shaila is when it's underneath your head. In other words, is that considered bezayin or not? Amalei. So Nechunya, Rav Yosef, the son of Rav Nechunya, yes, Rav Yehuda answered him. Hachi Shmuel. Muta, it's muta, and afila ishta imay. Even if your wife is with you, right, it'll be permitted. And that's dafkas. We'll see it's kli mitoch kli. Meisevei leiniach adam tefillin tachas margalosav ifnei shenoyeg behem derech b'zayin. That's what we stated. Aval manichin tachas mershaysav. You could put it onto your head. And if your wife was with you, asa, then it'll be asa, which is a kash on Shmuel, who said it even with your wife's with you. If there's 3 tefachim above, 3 tefachim below, which would be a separate jurisdiction, muta. Tiyufta the Shmuel Tiyuftu said, afilu ishta imay, and here it says not. Amarava afagav the Tanya Tiyufta the Shmuel It says Rava huge Kiddush, even though it's an upshlag on Shmuel. Now Allah is like Shmuel afilu ishta imay. Why? My timer Amid Aleph, because Kol Neturinu Spei. The more you could watch it fill in, the better it is. So, despite the fact that it might be a bit of, you might think Bezoyin Ishta Imoy is going to have Tashmish with his wife and have the tefillin, since it's kli as kli mitoch kli underneath, it would be okay because of the netira of the watching away from Achvorim and Organov. Where exactly do you put them? Being between the mattress and the pillow. But not right on top of it. On top would be a Bezoyin. You could put the bulge underneath your head. Mashma could have put it under your head. If not, Gemara, then the mafik leilim the koiva lebar. You put the bulge of the tefillin to the outside. He would go ahead and tie it up in the canopy. Umafik levar, and you put the bulge of the tefillin outside off the bed. He put it on the stool, and he paras the suda to watch them. So he didn't put it on the bed. Amr of Nuna, Breder of Yosef, Zimin Choda Havikim the Kamed Rava, Vamali, Zil Isoli Tfillin, go bring me my tefillin, he said, Ashkasinu ben Karl Keses, and he found it between the car and the Keses. Right. The Rabbi from Nuna found the tefillin between the pillow and the mattress. Shaloi keneged roshli, opposite his head. Yadana the yom tefillah have, and I knew it was yom tefillah, and therefore, obviously, what it was there with him with ishta imay. They bring a raya from here that yom tefillah, that's a mitzvah to be with your wife. Ulagmuron halacha l'maisahu of it, and the reason why Rabbi told Rav Nuna bar Yosef to go get it is to teach him halacha, that the halacha is like Shmuel. If you ishta imay, would be permitted. Two people sleeping in the same bed, and they're not wearing clothing. Can they turn away from each other and learn Kriya Shema? Facing each other is not. Turning away from each other, maybe yes. Even if it's your wife, if you're facing away, you can learn Kriya Shema. Right? I mean, his wife is with him, and for sure somebody else. Adrabah, Ishtay is kigufay, and therefore it'd be permitted. But Acha lav kigufay, maybe it would be permitted. You took the line of reasoning, Ishtay, where it's possible tashmish, then nonetheless that what you'll be able to turn away for kolshke and Acher, maybe not. Maybe Ishtay is kigufay and Acher not. Meisvei, Shnaim Shi Yishana B'mita Achas, two people sleeping in the same bed. Zem Afsapan of Bakari, Zem Afsapan of Kari. Each one turns away, Alain's Krishma. The Tanya Krita, separate Baisa, Hayoshin B'mita, Ubanov B'nei Beisai, B'tzidoi, someone is in his bed, and his sons and his daughters, B'nei Beisai, B'tzidoi. Rashi says, B'nei Beisai is even his wife. Harizela Yikor Kriyashma, you should not learn Kriyashma Elam King Hoist the Talis Mavsekas by Nayem, unless the Talis be massive between them. Hayu Banov B'nei Beisai Katan and Demuta, a Bishlan, Rabbi Yosef, who makes a chilik that wife. No, and other people, yes, like kasha, habi ishtay, where it's what? It would be a mutter, hab acher would be asa. Ishtay is kegufay be permitted, ach would be asa. El Shmuel permits ishtay, and certainly acher might go name away. How are you going to answer up the steers and vices? Some like Shmuel, but Rabbi Yosef, me nicha, are you home free? But Tanya, Yoshem b'mita, one of b'nei beisay b'mita, lo yikra kriyashma, el kein hoysed talisa mafsekas beinehem, and even is Ishtay is part of what is part of any base say, nonetheless it's Asa. So what do you have to say? You have two prices that are say. So we saw other Ishtay Rabbi Yosef Tanayi, whether a wife being there, you claim Kriyashma, it's Machlekes Tanayim in between prices. So the Dinami Tanayi, it's Machlekes Tanayim, whether you can go ahead and lane, and therefore what it's my sheet I go into the Tana that says Ishtay Imo you could lane. Amamar Zeh Machsapana B'Koyre Kriyashma says more of the Ikka. Agabois, there's the backside, your lower extremity touching each other. So how could they lane even though they're facing away from each other? The Sailu Rav Huna, right? We go ahead. It's a right Rav Huna. Dam Rav Huna, Agabois aim behem mishum erva. Agabois is not considered an erva. Lema Messiah, Leilachayr, I can bring a raya that Agabois is not considered an erva. Lema Messiah, Rav Huna. Laisha is Yosheves, she can sit without clothing. The Kaitza Lachalasa, and she can separate Chala Ruma. The by shitting, she's covered up. If the bottom part of an isha, the makam erva would be covered up, and the backside is megula. So you have a raya that it's not an erva. Avaloya ish, the ish cannot go ahead and be mafresh truma, mafresh chala, because the ish is aver, it sticks out, and therefore the erva is megula. So taking Rav Nachman by Yitzchak, you have no raya. If it's soft karka can sign, everything's immersed, even the backside. So therefore, you would not have a raya that the backside is not considered an erva. It's a very interesting question over here. It's an interesting question about the brachos. About the brachos over here. The Magen Avraham says in Siman Ches, Sivkot and Beis, that when you make a bracha, right, it's possible to make a bracha on a berachos mitzvah yeshiva. Because you're going ahead in this Gemara, you're separating challah, which is a mitzvah, and you're sitting, you're not standing, right? And he has on the Devi Shulchan Aruch that says that birchas of tzitzis you have to say by midah, shum shel birchas mitzvah. So why do you say a birchas mitzvah has to be said by standing? You see over here, you're making a bracha on challah when you're sitting. It's a birchas mitzvah, and you're not standing. And the Magen Avraham says birchas mitzvah is by midah, it should be a midah, but afroshas challah is different. Because it's not considered such a mitzvah. Because in other words, you don't have to do it. Wearing tzitzis, you have to do it. Mitzvahs that you have to do, you have to stand. Over here, it's not such a mitzvah because you don't have to go ahead. You only have to be mafresh challah if you want to eat it. And if you don't want to eat it, you don't have to be mafresh it. So it's a mitzvah that you can avoid. Therefore, it's considered, since you want it, you can have it. It's considered birchas hanena, and memela birchas hanena can be said by yeshiva. That's Teres and Magen Avraham. Says the Gemara right. Amama. Imhoyu bonav ubnei beisai ketanim. If they were small, mutter yad kama. What's the age of the ketanim that could be in the same bed and be mutter to go ahead and say Kriya Shema? Amrav Kista tinoikis bashal shana v'yemechad 3 years in a day, but tinoik ben tes shanim v'yemechad 9 in a day. Ikediami tinoikis Bas Yid Aleph Shana V'Yom Echad 11 in a day. The Tinaik ben Shnei Meser Shana V'Yom Echad 12 in a day. And Idi, and all would be Ad Kidei Shadayim Nechoinim B'Sorech Tzimeach. Pasuk in Yecheskel, if the secondary sex characteristics have come in, that the Dodim and Seir the Oisei Makoim, then what? Then even if they're younger, then the age will be awesome. All we have Kahana Ravashi said of Kahana to Ravashi, Hasam, right? Amarava. Right, and by the ishtay underneath the pillow, we said, Rabbi said, I forgot the tiyufta, the shmuel, even though we start with shmuel, hilchas agabasi, the shmuel, because of what? Because of the tirusa yisera to watch the tefillin. So, hachamai. What about over here about back to back by Kriya Shema? Is the halacha like that as well? So Amalei, but the kula b'choda machta sinu. With all of these things, were they woven literally on one curtain? In other words, why would you think they're the same? Good, the Indian Ereva for sure was again, but the commonality is that with the wife in bed. But nonetheless, the super halachas, one's halacha of watching tefillin, the other one is a halacha of saying Kriya Shema. Where we said the halacha is like Shmuel, the halacha is like Shmuel. The hechad lo yitma. And we didn't learn it. We didn't learn. Only Rav Mori learned Papa. Seir yoytze b'bigdoi. Let's say he's wearing a beged, and the seir of his oisei makoim is protruding out. Mahu. So Karoles, Rav Papa said seir. It's here, meaning it's nothing to be concerned about. You can lay Kriya Shema, not considered an erva. So now we get into the sugya of erva. Amrav Yitzchak, tefach be'isha erva, tefach of skin that a woman should cover is uncovered. It's also to lay Kriya Shema. Lamai, if it's a din of a stackless and this of a stackless, why do you need even a tefach? Why by the battle of Midyan, when it described the different ornaments and jewelry that they brought back in the spoils, it says in tachshitin shebefnim, they went ahead, they described the tachshitin that you wear outside with tachshitin that are inside, meaning in the makam erva. That it just like mistakel, the isha Ketania, there was a thing they called a kumis. Kumis seemed to be some type of jewelry that they wore by Islam Makar. So therefore, it's to say that even if you look at something that, like an isha, the outside ring, it's like looking there. So if it's in its stackless, even less than a tefach. Why a tefach? The gula. So obviously, it's not speaking in his stackless of looking. El must be bisha ul kriyashma. So regarding that, if his wife, even his wife, including kriyashma, right, it should now go ahead and have a tefach magula. Amrav Tista shoik beisha erva. Now, usually a shoik refers to a thigh. So it's a little shver. Shoik beisha erva. We'll get to it in a second. Shneimar gale shoik ivri naharis. Iksiv tigal ervasech begam teira cherpasech. So you see, it's an erva. Amashmuel kol beisha erva. Kol is also never shneimar ki kolech orev umare novech. The voice is sweet and the appearance is nice. So it's going ahead and stressing the voice. Amrav Sheishes, Seir B'ish Erva. The Seir of a woman is an Erva. Shnemar, Sa'arayach Ke'edor Izim. So we see these are all Indian Erva, the Indian different halachas. So now, what's this din of the Shaykh? What's when it said over here, the Shaykh, Rashi says, it's speaking in the Indian is stackless. The Chayin Indian, Kriya Shema. Freg the Bach in Siman Ayin Hey, the Gemara says that it's also the Mistakel, Afilu Inishta Katana. In the Etzba Katana, the small finger of Anisha and Cain, why does it say over here that what? That it's his shoik of his stackless? Certainly it'll be in the stackless. It's a place that's covered up. So why do you have to go ahead and say this? And he said, Material Shibali Apasik Sakadaita. Shainis is stackle the shoik. I feel a beishas ish. It's a place that's usually discussed and covered in Muslimin. Machmas Malacha. Kamash Malan Shadina Kerv. It's a din of an erva. But he says the kasha. My Kamash Malan that shoik bisha erva. Then Kriya Shema, any tefach that's mechusa is an erva. So what's so special about the shaykh? So the right answer is that a shaykh is a part of the anatomy that usually a man shows. And so therefore, I would think since it's not an erva by a man, it might be an erva by a woman. Kamash Malani. Now, based upon this, the shaykh of a man, he doesn't show his thigh. Based upon this, the shaykh is usually the calf. So it's mashma. And the Chaznish says that the Chaznish says this shaykh over here on the discussion is not the thigh. That would be a double passion. It's the calf. And the kavamina that you need a limit telling it's an erba, it's since by a man, it's not covered, therefore, since it's accustomed to not be covered, therefore by a woman as well. And that would answer that. Okay, Linyan halacha. In Siman Ayin Hey, Sif Aleph said to Shulchan Aruch, Tefach Megula Be'isha B'Mokam Shedarka L'Chleis, like a place that is usually accustomed to be covered. Afilu hi ishta, even if it's his own wife, also likras kriyashma connected, it's also playing kriyashma. Because of her Allah, sheish oimim, sheshir tefach nemer dafka beishta. The shir of tefach, that much is with ishta. Aval beisha cheres, says the Ramah, afpochas mi tefach fashiv erva. Even less will be an erva. But also likras connected will be also. Chumra of the Ramah that the din of tefach is only in your wife. it's not your wife, then even more. Sayer of a woman, darker that's covered, be also the rikus connected, even if it's your wife. Says the Shulchan Aruch, but the sulas that are darker to go ahead with Puri Roish, it's not an erva, unmarried girls. Says Mishnah Bura, Afilu in Ba'isig Malkim Derech Hanoshim Leilach B'Gilei Roish. Again, part of the Haskalah, they were very successful in women uncovering the hair, and even it's a place where woman goes with the hair uncovered. B'Shuk Kiderech HaPrutzas Asa, it would be Asa, even though it's the Minig HaMalkim Kaviyachol. Here should strichel Chasus Aseris Mitzad Adin Mechal Erva Uva Asa. In other words, good that Mitzad that's Minig, but if it's an Erva, it's an Erva. They don't treat it as an Erva, we do. Not only the status, but it's also the Indian Kriyashma. What about the koil b'ish erva? Shulchan Aruch says, be careful about the koil b'shatz. Say Kriyashma. Says the Ramah, even if it's your wife. I have a koil that you ruggle by ein erva. A koil that it's only that I guess she's singing, but a koil that's ruggle that then it would not be a problem. Says the Mishnah Bura, Shekol sheisha she erva olav asla shmoyel after einam mechuv lehanis mizeh. Even if you don't have kavanah to have enough from it, it will be asa, and it will be asa. Even this in of kol b'ish erva would even be regarding the sulois non-married girls, as opposed to here, which is only married woman. The kol b'ish erva would be even unmarried woman. Aval b'sulah she'ena nidos mutal l'shmoya. I don't know. The nidos, they're not in the nidos you were permitted. Ach shlo yichavim lehanis behem mishneh that you should come to hear her. Some halachas. Amrav Chanina, Ani re'isi es Rabbi. I saw Rabbi shetola tefillin that he hung his tefillin up. Basically, a toilet tefillin yidu l'chayev. Someone's toilet tefillin. His head, his life is hanging by a thread, literally. Darshe chamuros. Those who darshan chamuros, they darshan so pshat in chamuros. So Darshe Chamurais are the people who darshan, the Muslim that are hinted to in the Torah. The Taisus of Ben Yoina brought in the back of the Masechta. The Chamurais is Lashon Chumrosam Margalois, the Chumra of the pearls. The Darshan Devarim that what are Yakar Kimargolis, they're precious like pearls. Omru, they said, the Hoyu Chayecha Taloyim L'chami Neged. The pasuk that the pasuk that the Torah says, "So a toilet tefillin." So how can Rabbi do it? Like Kasha, Ritzua. When's it also? That's if you go ahead and suspend it tefillin by Ritzua to have the katzitza, the boxes hanging down. The katzitza is not hanging down, then it would be mutter. Ibay Sema, Loishna Ritzua, Loishna katzitza. If they're hanging down, it's not okay. Also, if he told a Rebbe the kasita tali, he's hanged it up in a kiss. If it's in a kiss, it's okay. Yehachi might remember what's the chiddush. Some other tamati boy hanacha k'sefer Torah. I might think it needs hanacha like a sefer Torah k'mash malan. Halacha is a sefer Torah can't be suspended. Halachically, you're not allowed to go ahead and make the Aron Kodesh nailed to the wall. It has to be on the floor. It can't be nailed on the wall because then the sefer Torah would be suspended. It won't be munach. So therefore, every Aron Kodesh you ever see is built in with the base. I saw Rabbi Shegeyok, he burped, Upiek, he yawned, in his atesh, he sneezed, Baroik, and he spit. Uma meshes bebigdoi, and he went ahead and he was with his baguette, he was taking out the lice. But if his callus fell off in Shmona Esrei, that doesn't say how much it fell off. He didn't put it back on. When he would belch, he would go ahead and put his. He would go ahead and he would yawn. Excuse me, he would yawn. He'd put his hand on his chin and go like this. Basically, someone who's davening loudly. It's like he doesn't believe that Hashem is going to hear him, so he has to daven loud. I'm like, be a koila b'tfilasai, and then he davens louder than that. He lifts up his voice. It's like maybe called out by our parable by Eliyahu. They called out loudly. The gahek if he belches, mafayik if he yawns. That's it's a problem. How could Rabbi do it then? If she sneezes, which philosophy simon roloi. That's an ugly thing to do. Like he's like he's spitting in front of the king. So how do you reconcile Rebbe's actions with all of this price? So Bishleim, Megahik, yawning, Umafahik, and belching. Oh, excuse me, I keep mixing that up. Megahik is belching, Umafahik is yawning, Loikasha, Kan Loinsoi, it's Loinis, Kan Lertsainai. When's it a problem? When's it a problem of Gase Ruach? That's what you do at the Rotzit. Misate sneezing, Misate's kasha. It's mashma sneezing can be controlled. So Misate Misasha Namila Kasha, Kamil Maila Kamil Mata. If it's a sneeze above from your nose, then it's okay. That's what Rabbi did. Mata, if it's expelling gas, then it's not. Rav Zera, Milsa, if be Rav Hamnuna. This matter was made known to me from the Yeshiva of Hamnuna. And it was equal to me all my Talmud. I'm a this tefillah, like someone is misatesh and it's tefillah sibin yafalei. It's a good thing because kashem shoish nachas ruach mamata by sneezing, kachois nachas ruach mamayla. Like kasha, how could Rebbe spit? Baisa says it's like he's spitting in front of Hakadosh Baruch Hu. That's a roik nami like kasha. Perhaps Rebbe did like Rebbe Yehuda. Then Rebbe Yehuda, with tefillah, if a person standing in the middle of tefillah. It is damin la roik. He should go ahead and put it in his talus. In talus no, right? Who is it, right? And if it's a tal, that's no, a very, very nice one. The mavliyo ba'afrak sasai. You should go ahead and put it in his turban. She says from the turban they had two things hanging down. You go ahead and be mavliya in the turban, not to take off the turban. Ravina was standing by Rav Ashi in the middle of Shmoneh Esrei. This naman like roik, and Rav Ashi it had to expectorate. And Paske Lachure, he turned around and expectorated, he spat. Amalei said, Ravina, like Savala Ma'al, Rav Yehuda, Avliya, Afra Sasa, you should put it in your turban. Amalei, I'm not in the toy. I'm an istinist and I couldn't do it. Hamashmir called but Filasa, someone, it says in the price we just quoted, it's like you're lacking, I'm one of the Kash Baruch who can't hear you. I'm not. When is it a negative? You shouldn't do it. That is able to have kavana silently. If you can't do it silently, then you'll have more kavanah by saying it loudly. Motor, provided you can't daven too loud by a tzibur because it stirs people. Rosh Hashanah and Kippur could be different, and even other people say Rosh Hashanah you should better be quiet. Again, look up the initial Shulchan Aruch. Rav Abba Havika Mishtam Minei Rav Yehuda. Rav Abba was staying away from Rav Yehuda. He was scared. He didn't want to meet Rav Yehuda. The Havika Boy Lamesa Clarity Yisrael, because Rav Abba planned to go ahead and ascend to Eretz Yisrael, and Rav Yehuda did not hold of that. Then Rav Yehuda held Kol Oila Mibabel Eretz Yisrael, right? Oiver Basei Shnemar, Babela Yuvou, that the kalim of the Beis Hamikdash they should be in Babel, the Shama Yiyu, and there the kalim should stay. Adyan Pakti Oisam until I go ahead, and I remember you, Nu'um Hashem. So this Rav Abba held this was the rule was going on the kalim and not the people. But Yehuda was holding it was going on the people. This is the source for the anti-Zionists. Omar Ezel Eshma Minei Milsa said Rav Abba, let me go hear something from Yehuda before I go. Let me base Vada from the Vada Yehuda was giving. He went, he stood in a place I guess where Yehuda could see him. He found the Tana reciting something with Yehuda. If a person was standing in tefillah in his atesh, and he passes gas. Mountain, he should wait until the smell dissipates. The place of spell and go back and daven. The army, and he has to. He should go backwards for Ramis from his atesh, mountain and wait until it passes. Aruach the place of spell and go back and daven. You'd certain in the coffin. Say this tefillah. You created for us holes. Chalum chalulim. Our embarrassment, in our lifetime, we're embarrassed because of our bodily needs. In our end, Rima v'telas, we're full of Rima and telas, we're full of and he could go back and from the place he was mafsik. Amalei ilulei basi elishmei never said that. Said Rabbi Abba, if I didn't go ahead, what? And come just to hear this, then why it would have been kedai. Talking about Yashim B'talisa, guy sleeping in his talus, then he's not able to take his head out, again, he's sleeping without any clothing. They had sin, it's too cold. So I don't know, like sleeping bags that they were totally enveloped in. And Chaitzis B'talisa, Yal Samore, let him put his talus on his neck, the prayer of Krishma. Yeshayim, Ali boy, it's enough to put what? Ali boy. Tanakama, Ali boy, Yaser, his life is already, Sub Ali boy, Yaser. Akasha, you put it on your neck, your lave is going to see erva. No, he holds. People hold they've seen the erva is okay. The person is walking in dirty alleyways, right? Then put his hand on his mouth. Like this, he has a hefsek between the piv and the machmatun and the kayar krishma. And if I would have heard this directly from Rabbi Yochanan and not from you, Rav Huna, let's say Sinai, I want to listen. You can't go ahead and say Kriyashma in the Makom Tunaf. Ikad Yami, it wasn't Rav Huna, it was Amar Rabba Rav Chana, Amar Yeshua ben Levi, and it wasn't Rabbi Yochanan, it was Yeshua ben Levi. Voice, the person is walking in places that are dirty. Maniach Yodai al Piv, the Kaira Kriyashma. Amar Rav Chista Elikim, Imar Mali, that's Neshua. Normally, Yeshua ben Levi put me, if it would have heard directly from Yeshua ben Levi, it says Sinai, the same reaction that Rav Huna had. For me, Amar Rav Huna, Hachi, Rav Huna, says Rav Huna, the same reaction that Rav Chista had. Rav Huna, Tam Chacham, Asalei Lamed, B'makam, Tunafais, Fishiev Shalei Lamed, the hero Torah, and certainly Kriya Shema. So why did Rav Huna say that if you're in a Makam Tun, if you could? Like Hashem, Kan B'oim, Kan B'mahalech. There's a difference between you walking and a difference between what you're standing still. When's it also? That's when you're standing still. And it's the mutter, that's when what you are walking. So this is the words of a Sefer, the Kirat Sefer, Perik Gimel, Melacha Kriya Shema. And it's also found in the Buris Ari, that's a Shaigas Aryeh on Tainus Tav Chav. The chilik between standing and walking, the issur of being around soya or something that is smelly is v'hoya machanecha kodesh. Your machane should be kodesh. Shebeshas amiris devarim shebekdusha. When you say something in devar shebekdusha, your machanecha kodesh. Your machane should be kodesh. In kain kishaoimid, when you're standing, v'yeshlei machna, then you have a chaniyah. You have a machna asalei lahara and lemid devei Torah and kriyashma. Mashen kain when you're walking, right? The ain't a chayna, so therefore you don't have a machna. Since you don't have a machna, it's not a problem of v'hoya machnecha kodesh. And therefore, it's Rabbi Yehuda said it's mutter to say the Torah, and therefore it's mutter for Kriya Shema. That would be a nice pshat to explain the difference between Hoylech and Einik. Umiyam Rabbi Yochanan Hachi that you're permitted to be mahar in Torah when you're walking in a makom to the fist. Amar Rabbi Chana, Amar Rabbi Yochanan. In every place it's mutter to mahar b'divrei Torah, chutz mibeis hamerchatz, mibeis hakisei, with the exception of beis hamerchatz and a beis hakisei. The chitem, if you're going to say, hachanami kan ba'oimid, kan b'mahalech, you have the same chilik between standing and walking. Inni, is it really so? Well, Rabbi Vo, Havi Ko'ozl Basar Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Vo was walking after Rabbi Yochanan. Havi Ko'kori Kriya Shema. Kimati b'mavlu tanavos, and we got to the dirty place. Ishtik. So Rav Nuna, he went ahead. Rav was silent. Amalei Rabbi Yochanan lehechin ahader. Where do I have to go back to? Amalei imshak ligmes kula. If you delay the time it says to say all Kriya Shema, plus levoish, you have to go back to the beginning. So lechayri see Rabbi Yochanan held that it's asa to even while walking to say Divrei Torah and Kriya Shema in a makom mitzunafos. So how can you say it's permitted? And for the Gemara, hachi kamalei. Lidi, says Rabbi Yochanan, I don't hold that you have to stop it all. But you hold that you have to stop Rabbi Bo in Shah, if you go ahead and you stop the time it says take the whole thing, Chazlawash. Hanikavasi the Puna, Hanikavasi the Chista, Hanikavasi the Puna that's permitted. Amahalek Muros, Hamitovis, Menichin Yad Al Pivi, Yukuk Yeshma. Hanikavasi the Chista, Hayamahalek Makan Tunafos, Yukuk Yeshma, you shouldn't. Elashim Hoya Kaira Uba basically pasuk, right? You shouldn't stop. Excuse me, and You should stop. Now, the question is, in loy pasuk, what's the din? So, according to the day of Chisda that you're supposed to stop, you're saying Kriya Shemakim Tenufais pasuk. So the Gemara wants to know what happens if you're not. What happens if you're not pasuk? You don't stop. So here we have three psukim. Loy pasuk mai Amra Miyasha bar Bereder of Yeshua ben Levi Allah v'kosel b'Imer v'gamanino sati lahem chukim le'toivim u'mishpatim le'yichibehem. That since you're going ahead and doing a devar aveira, then so you're finding that the chukim mishpatim that are good le'yichibehem, you're not going to live. The Vasi says, pasuk is you pull the aveira, the chavle hashav with ropes of nothing, chavalim that are not strong, that easy to break. You're going to go ahead and pull. So to this person, through Dibur Ba'alma, he's pulling Averis on himself. That is going to be punished. Ravada Baraba Alma Mehacha, Ki Devar Hashem Baza, Devar Hashem, he is being Baza. Then Pasuk my Skaroi, Am Rabbo, Allah Vakasavoimer, Ubedavar Hazeh, this Dibur that he's careful to keep, Harichu Yomim, he'll have what? He'll have Arichas Yom. Now we'll stop over here.